Hey everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Welcome to our Friday edition of our live video series. So this is the Hyundai Santa Fe Ultimate Calligraphy. It's a really long name for just a really nice car. I'm not a big fan of the Ultimate Calligraphy thing. I don't know if it doesn't speak to my age group or whatever, but it is a vehicle that I am a fan of, and I like it quite a bit. So what we're gonna do is, if you've never joined us before, we're gonna talk about this car in detail. We're gonna spend about a half an hour going through the details of this car, trying to show you things that other videos don't show you. In the meantime, in the first 3 minutes of this video, and if you're not watching live with us, you may wanna skip these 3 minutes, it's up to you. But in the first 3 minutes of the video, we're gonna allow our live audience to build. I'm gonna show you how to join us live, and we're gonna talk about some news and some notes. So let's flip down here for a second. All right, I am sweating and I forgot my glasses. I've just finished cleaning this car. If you want to join us live, you can see right here, we've got a live video up right there, or not a live video, just a regular video. If you refresh the page at exactly 2 o'clock on a weekday, you will find that our live video shows up right there in the lead part. So we're gonna click into that for a second, get to watch an ad for whoever that dude just was. And of course, you can watch the ad, that'd be great. I'm skipping the ad. All right, skip the ad. If you're looking to buy a car in Ontario, there are 3 dealers that support this channel. Brantford Kia, which is where we film, and Brantford Hyundai, and Owen Sound Hyundai. Those are the 3 dealers that support this channel. If you're looking to buy a car in Ontario, you can connect with me through a link that will be in the description of this video as soon as I'm done filming, and we will make sure that we connect with you, that they treat you like family, and we go from there. I don't have my glasses on. I need to get them right now. This is 2 days in a row I forgot my glasses, so in fact, I think I'm gonna lose my coat here too. It's warmer in here than I needed it to be. So give me 1 second here while we get my glasses, because that's gonna make my job a little easier for you, or for me. All right, there we go. There's my office in case you don't want to know. All right, so is it like the lines around the wheel wells? Yeah, you know what? I'm taking this jacket off right now. Let's make it a casual Friday. I just finished cleaning this car, which I know is not the most professional thing, but right now we had some more snowstorm and yeah, here we go. Okay, so news and notes, let's talk about it for a second here. News and notes in the Kia world, obviously the Kia EV6 is our only news right now. It's out, it's been priced, it may work for you, it may not. If you want to order that vehicle, by all means do it right now. There's no longer a pre-order process, so it's now an ordering process. So just like the Ioniq 5, you gotta pick your vehicle, you're gonna have to put an order in, and you're gonna have to wait. That's just the way it is. So how long the wait is, each team will give you their expected wait time. The interesting thing about the EV6 is we will see the all-wheel drive here in our studio before I'll see the Ioniq 5 all-wheel drive. So we're gonna compare those 2 cars, but not together directly from there. So, I'm out of breath. Okay, do me a favor guys, if you're a regular, hit the like button right now, and if not, I'll try to earn it as we go. We'll do better from now on. 3-minute mark, here we go. All right, 3-minute mark. This is the Hyundai Santa Fe Ultimate Calligraphy. It's the top-of-the-line version, and yesterday we looked at the Kia counterpart, which is the Kia Sorento SX, which, to be honest, simpler name. All right, what I'll do is first we're gonna start by showing you the key, and then we're gonna dig our way through. We do have some shipping plastic in this car. That is not actually blue in real life, but there are some things where this is just, again, a brand new car that we have not fully gotten ready for sale yet, but it is available for me to do the video, and we'll point out those shipping plastic things if we see it through the video. Here we go. This is a pretty advanced key fob. So you can see, compared to the Kia Sorento yesterday, which I should point out, this car is also just a hair bit less expensive. So there we go, a little bit less expensive, $47,799, which is just a hair less expensive than the Sorento yesterday. And compared to the key fob, you have a little bit more advanced key fob. So we have the lock and unlock. We can power open the trunk right here. Of course, the hold button for the panic button. There's remote start there. All this stuff was on the Kia, but you also have these 2 buttons right here. The only vehicle currently that you can get this on a Kia is the EV6, and even then only on some trim lines. This allows you to move the car forward and backwards purely from the key fob. Now, because we're indoors, and because this is a gasoline version car, I'm not gonna start it up and do that. We have done that with the Tucson Hybrid because I could keep the engine off and move it inside. There's potential we'll do that at the end of the video if you guys need to, if you wanna remind me at the end of the video, but right now I wanna keep the fumes out of the offices that this shares ventilation with. But you do have that here, and if you're parking in a tight spot, you can pull it out. So all you're gonna do is lock the car, remote start it, then you can move it forward, and then you can also move it back. So you can sort of put it into a spot if you park right in front. I think most people are gonna pull it out of a spot rather than put it into a spot with these kinds of things, just because it's a little nerve-wracking allowing it to trust itself to go into a certain spot. So just generally speaking, that's probably how you're gonna use it. The rest of the time, I can keep this key in my pocket and not have to pull it out for anything. We're gonna take a look at lighting in the face of this car a little bit later. We're gonna take a look at the rear of the car, but let's start in the driver's area and go from there. So hopping in here, you do have the same seat as we saw. Well, I shouldn't say the same seat. It is a different seat than we saw in the Sorento, but the adjustments are the same. So you still have this long extending piece out there. If that looks too long and uncomfortable, what you're gonna do is just pull it right in here by hitting this button. It curls itself around, tucks itself in, and you can see that significantly shortens the seat. It doesn't look like it's a huge shortening, but it does shorten the seat quite a bit. So a taller or shorter person are going to be really happy sharing this vehicle. And again, the lumbar support. It is a 4-way lumbar support. You can move it up or down, in and out. And it is a fairly good range of motion on that lumbar. I am someone who has a bit of a funny back, and I do appreciate a good lumbar support, and it is very good. Another difference you're going to see from the Sorento is sort of the Hyundai thing. Hyundai really opens up this area here. If you're the kind of person that carries a purse, you could fit it in there. But to be fair, little bit smaller purse than some other cars. It looks pretty big, but the opening's a little bit smaller. So it's there. And you can see that blue light there. That is part of the ambient lighting package, which I actually can't see with my naked eyes, but I can see through the camera quite well. As I turn it on, you will see the results of those lights, but not the lights themselves. All right, push button start. I'm going to turn the car to the on position, but not start it up. And you have a very large display screen in here. This is a 12-inch display screen in the center. I'm gonna turn my climate system off for a second. So this is kind of the same thing as we saw yesterday. Everything in here, same type of cluster display. I'm gonna swipe across just for a second, and we're gonna go to the setup, and we're gonna change what we can in here just to show you what we've got. All right, where are we here? Cluster, there we go. Select theme. So what I'm doing is just selecting the theme over here. And yesterday we had it linked to the drive mode, so we're going to take that off. Then there's A, B, C, or Cube. And that's the difference here. The A, B, C, and Cube, these are slightly different gauge clusters or slightly different software. I'm trying to get it able to film here. So there's classic A, there's B, there's C, which is sort of the sport version. So again, same thing in the Tucson, same thing in the Santa Cruz, but not the same thing as the Kia versions. And then you have the Cube section here. Whoops, I missed it there. Cube section there, which is like that, which changes everything and is kind of cool to look at. I'm going to be honest, visually on the screen that I'm filming on, it doesn't look too cool. But when you see it in person, it's just kind of neat. I have this available on my Santa Cruz, and I do kind of like it. Where this is especially useful, to be very honest, is when you're driving at night. When you have these display screens, knocking the light out of them, which is what this Cube section does, can really just to help your eyes see further down the road. And that's just kind of a nice thing to have. So when you have a Cube section there, you can do that. I'm going to put it back to the traditional gauges just because somebody's going to drive this car and say they do or do not like that, and then find out that it's just because it's one setting. So we'll leave it there. We'll link it to the drive modes. You can also see you still have the, where are we here? There we go. The the heads-up display in this vehicle as well. It does shine on the windshield. Now, yesterday's we had it flickering. Today, it is slowly coming to life and fading from life. This is the way they interact with the camera. There's a slow fade, and I can't find it at all anymore. So let's just zoom out. It is there. And again, any heads-up display, just like LED lights, kind of flicker in person. Sometimes it's a slow flicker. Sometimes it's a rolling, slow, fading in, fading out. Let me try to get this fixed. But there is a heads-up display down there. And like I said, it is there. There it is. It's just going to start showing. No, that's just the snow. Anyways, I promise you it's there. It cannot be filmed, and that's one of the catches with filming heads-up display. It is a very good heads-up display, and maybe we'll just show you some, just really quickly, how to just see that heads-up display information, display content selection. So this is your content selection for your heads-up display. All of these things would be in. We'll put your radio media data up there as well. But you can see basically all of these things in that heads-up display. So a lot of information can be displayed up there, and I quite like the way that works. So again, same thing in the Sorento. Now it's weird because I can see it in person, but oh, there we go. Nope, that's still snow. I cannot film it today because it's not reacting. It's just not happy playing with the camera. But I can tell you that right here, it's just right here in my windshield. If I'm looking right up for myself, I can see it and you guys can't. And yeah, that makes for poor video, but that is what it is. All right, let's jump over this display here. So this is the larger of the two displays. A lot, and I mean a lot, of Santa Fe's only have the 8-inch display screen. So you're losing a third of this display screen. This one here, I'm going to take this protective cover off because it gives us more glare. The glare always looks worse on camera than in person because you have two eyes in person and one eye on the camera. One eye on the camera creates more glare. But I will say that this is a very good display. You know, it's the same thing as what Kia is doing right now. It's the same thing we saw yesterday, and actually the same software as well for the most part. BlueLink obviously different than the Uvo Intelligence, Kia Connect, but it's the same idea. But you do have a very nice display here, and of course, if we were to put this car, let's just show you the cameras. We can't show you the cameras the same way we could as far as reverse, because of the push button gear shift. You have to start the car to show everything normal, but there is a button over here which allows you to bring up the camera, and it's the same thing again. And again, if we were driving, it would show you guidelines. So if I'm backing up and swinging the front end this way, it'll show me where the front end is going to swing. It'll show me there, and there will be guidelines in here as well. But because we're not running the car today, we don't have that. You can see some guidelines, I believe. Nope, it's all gone if we're doing it this way. So that's the way it is. If you want to see the front of the car, there's the side of the car along the side. So if you're parallel parking, you can take a look down the side. And again, same idea. If you pull forward, you will also see in front of you. You can see in front of me, there's that grate right there, and that would be picked up by the forward-facing camera as soon as I put it in drive, and it works at low speeds. So there is pretty cool systems on here. Again, because of that push-button gear shift, it doesn't allow some of the things to come up because you can't force it into a gear when the vehicle's not driving. So you can see here on the radio system here, we've got satellite radio, which is up there. And then, of course, when you use satellite radio, AM, FM, HD radio, it is the Harman Kardon sound system. So you can see it all down here. Harman Kardon sound system with Sirius satellite radio. And then when you have the 2/3, 1/3 screen, you can cycle through various things like this. Passenger talk, which is pretty cool. Let's just try that right now. So talk now. Hey, what's going on right now is my voice is being sent to the rear speakers. Now, usually they only have this in 3-row SUVs. It's kind of funny because I can hear myself echoing. You probably can't hear that in person. But 3-row SUVs, this makes a ton of sense because I can speak at a normal voice. They can hear me in the 3rd row. Of course, they're facing forward, so I can hear them as well. No big deal. This is only a 2-row SUV, but you still have that passenger talk, and it's all about the luxuries, right? You can kids with their AirPods on and listen to their own music. You can get their attention. So flip back around here, we hit the passenger talk end, and you can leave it up. So what's nice about this is when you put it in that 1/3 screen, you can just switch back and forth between your navigation and your passenger talk. So, you know, you see that you're getting close to your destination, you switch back over to your passenger talk, get their attention, and off we go. So a lot of cool things in there, and I like having that. And again, the new radio look, some people like it, some people don't. This is what you get. It is not changeable. I quite like it. You have the Quantum Logic surround sound system here, which can be turned on or off very quickly there, so that's very nice as well. Oh, the echo can be heard. Cool. So there we go. All right, coming down here, a lot of buttons. You guys say that sometimes these buttons are disappearing, so we have everything here. Now, keep in mind, everything here for a volume knob to a tuning knob to all of these buttons, they're all redundant buttons. You can do all these controls from the screen itself, but it is nice to have the buttons there. The star button, again, is what I like to use to bring up Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Of course, it's not wireless in this car, but you can set your phone down here, plug it all in, and actually down here, plug it all in and continue it to make it work. There is a wireless phone charging pad right here, which is in this little door, if you see right there. Very much similar to the K5 we had. The K5 is the same system turned this way. We filmed that just a couple days ago, and I had a proper phone to stick in. But you can see, no matter what size phone you've got, it can fit in there. It's not a really big issue, as well as USB there. And this will tell you if your phone is wirelessly charging. Deep cup holder here, cup holder there as well. And you can close that off to keep only the one there. So we're going to talk about push button gear shift. We're going to talk about this drive mode control here right now, but let's just quickly take a look at the climate system here. You do have the buttons and knobs. Again, the Tucson, the Santa Cruz, they've moved away from buttons and knobs on the high-end versions. Here you still have, you can turn your heat up and down. You got your volume knob. So for people who are into the Tucson, into the Santa Cruz that don't like that dash layout, you have an option here to go something different. Automatic climate control works really well. As soon as I turn it on the automatic, it takes over that 1/3 of the screen right there. Just tell me what's going on, and of course I can play with it and I can set it up to be constantly on the screen as well. The easiest way is just hit the climate button to pull it up, but there's lots of ways to do that. But most of the time it's not going to take any screen space unless you're doing something with it, and that's sort of the way it should be in my opinion. All right, let's talk about the controversialness of the push button gear shift. I'm going to be very honest. I thought I was going to hate this gear shifting system here. It took me no time to get used to it, and I do like the clean look. One thing you don't get is the ability to manually shift the gears from the gear shift, right? On the normal gear shift lever, you tap it down, you pull it to the side, you can switch your gears up and down. You can't do that here, but that's okay. It's taken care of because you've got paddle shifters here. So the paddle shifters work just fine. If you want to bring it from a manual mode back to or an automatic, manual mode to automatic, you're going to hold down this side here, and it will go back to the automatic mode. So it's very easy to do, as opposed to tipping the gear shift over here and tipping it back. And that works on our automatic without tipping the gear shift as well. So you just hold this here, and it'll bring it back to the manual mode from the automatic, or the automatic mode from the manual mode. So very good here. If you're American, you may be wondering, what is all this about? Well, drive modes and terrain modes are pretty cool. So you got snow mode, a mud mode, and a sand mode. So mud and sand you don't have in the States. And then of course drive modes, you have comfort, sport, and smart. And those are the modes that you're going to use. A lot of people used to say, what about the eco mode? Well, the eco mode is now the smart mode. And the smart mode's cool because as you get into the throttle here, it'll step out of the eco into the comfort. And as you get in the throttle more, it'll step out of the comfort into the sport. So the smart mode usually is just the best mode for people to get the economy that they want, but still allow the car to sort of make its own decisions about getting to where it needs to go. Hill descent control, really just useful for camping on those tight roads, maybe those cottage roads, that kind of thing. It's not a true fully heavy-duty off-roader, and you guys all knew that. It's got the ground clearance to get you where you need to go. You can get through mud when it gets muddy. You can get through some sand when it gets sandy. Snow, this car is actually great in. I do recommend snow tires in all cars, but again, the system itself works very, very well. Again, that hill descent control is just something that's there as an off-road type mode. And then you've got heated steering wheel, which is standard in a lot of vehicles now. Ventilated seats, heated seats on both driver and passenger sides. So really nice combination there. And the ventilated seats in this level of car do an excellent job of actually cooling the seats. Now there's no cooling process in there, but you have to move enough air through. So when you have your air conditioning on, if it moves enough air through, you will feel that cool air coming through as cold air, and this one does that very well. All right, we're almost done inside here, taking a look at the driver's area here. Highway drive assist is in this car, and you have, if I can get it to focus on this blue lighting, this is very clear to see in person, but very hard to get on film for whatever reason. Smart cruise control, lane follow assist, so navigation-based as well as regular cruise control when you use that highway drive assist, works very, very well. And of course, this car is capable of steering for itself. So it's capable of keeping itself centered in the lane. What that means is you're responsible if you get in an accident. However, it takes all the stress off of you of driving. You just keep your hands on the wheel. It'll keep you centered down the center of the lane, and it works really well. One thing I like as well, they've changed the mirror up here. So they used to have a big bezel along the bottom here. Now they switched it up, and you've got your 3 buttons there for your garage door openers, which work very well. There is some lighting up here when you activate the garage doors. It tells you that you've done that. And then they've moved your UVO your Blue Link over here to the top here. Some people don't like that. That takes away your sunglasses holder. What I would recommend to those people is, I'm in the same boat in my car. Keep a hard case for your sunglasses. Drop it in here. It'll work perfect. Or this is a little bit small to fit sunglasses, but if you just keep a hard case there, that's a nice deep area to put your sunglasses. At least it's a solution to the problem. I didn't design the car, so you don't get to complain to me, but that is what it is. All right, up top here, nice soft headliner. It feels suede-like to the touch. You've got the big panoramic glass sunroof that opens, of course. And of course, you've got LED lights, which we'll show you right there. They are white LED, even though they don't look that white. They're nice and sharp and bright. All right, we got 80-ish people on. Let's just set a low bar of 80 likes. So that's another 35 likes we can get there. Let's jump over to take your questions. We're going to go rear seat, trunk space in this vehicle as well. And we'll continue to show you things like lighting and anything else that you decide that you want to see. We'll do our best to show you. I didn't point out these are memory seats. I didn't point out that the infotainment system can be set up as multiple users. And when I say infotainment system, I'm kind of lying. You're not just setting up your infotainment system for multiple users. Things like safety systems and everything else, you can customize this car. So when you get in, you tap a button or tap a spot on the screen, and it's set up for you. Does this vehicle have automatic open-close side mirrors? I don't think so, but let's just find out. I don't think it'll close when I do this, so let's find out. Oh, they do. I'm wrong. I'm so glad you guys asked. So unlock and lock. The mirrors do fold in, so I was wrong about that. Now let's just see. Sometimes when you approach it, sometimes you have to leave it for longer than I'm going to. But if I approach it, they should come out. I might have had to leave it for longer. But yeah, if you unlock it, at least it will send those mirrors out. So I'm really glad you guys asked that, because there's that. Somebody says nice wheels. Yeah, these wheels are, I think they're quite nice as well. So two 55, 45, 20-inch wheels. These are the 20 inchers. They just fit the design nicely with this silver color. And I do apologize, I forgot to memorize the color name. Let's see if it mentions it up here. Oh, it's called Shimmering Silver. Shimmering Silver is right there. With that silver color, though, these, to me, These darker gray and lighter silver kind of wheels just blend in perfectly. The whole car ties in well. And we're going to take a look at that when we take a look at the front end and the back end as well. So sometimes people don't like certain design elements of certain Hyundais because they take some risks. The Tucson, the Elantra are examples. The Sonata, those are edgier cars. This is very mainstream, but it's tied in together nicely. So if you switch to snow, or how do you get back to out of regular mode? Switch it to snow mode, hit the terrain mode. The terrain mode puts you back in your drive mode. So there's in the center of that switch, the dot in the center is switching from your drive modes to your terrain modes. So drive modes are on the one side, terrain modes on the other. If you're in snow mode and you just tap the drive mode, it'll pull you back into the drive mode section and you'll be in a drive mode automatically. If you switch to the terrain mode, you have to rotate it into snow or into mud or into sand. So it goes snow, mud, sand around the one side, and around the other side, just tap that button. How do you get it into manual mode? Just start pulling your gear shifts. So just pull your gear shift to get into manual mode, and the right side paddle shifter, so the plus paddle shifter, you hold that down, and it'll switch it back to an automatic mode. So very simple to do that. For the Santa Fe, which USB port is used for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay? It's the one in that cup holder section. So in the center upper section, not the lower section. Although I haven't tried in the lower section. I suppose it could work down there, but I don't believe it does. Can I show the back seat space with Teddy? Maybe I'll do that. We'll definitely show the back seat space. Does this vehicle have automatic open closed mirrors? We covered that. Let me see what else we're at here. Santa Fe is 3-row in the UK. Yes, in the United Kingdom, in parts of the world, the Santa Fe is 3-row. Of course, we used to have the Santa Fe XL, which is 3-row. Now they don't have 3-row here. I don't know why. It's what they've chosen to do. Keep in mind there is the Palisade above, and the Palisade is priced aggressively at the lower end. So you can kind of have some overlap there. Greetings from Ohio. Somebody's thanking me for the content. I appreciate you guys watching from Ohio. That's awesome. Okay. Wish I could get some of the features in the luxury. Yeah, so the luxury model doesn't have things like the large screen. You have to go to the Ultimate Calligraphy. So that's just something there. Is the Harman Kardon audio system better than Bose? Okay, so here's my take on this. I'm not a musician. I'm not a perfect audio person. I do appreciate music in my car. Is one better than the other to my ears? Not really. There's maybe some slight differences to the things. Here's my take on this. I think Bose Audio pays Kia or Hyundai a bunch of money to put their system in, or offers to put theirs in for a slightly lower price, whereas Harman Kardon offers to throw theirs in for a slightly lower price. I honestly believe that it's probably about picking finalists for who can make a good sound system, and whoever hits the price point the best, or whoever agrees to it, I think that's how they get the contracts. I have nothing to base that on, but I think that's how it is. I don't think Harman Kardon, they choose one because it's better than the other. I've been told that Bose Audio, they get involved in the process, right from the design process to place their speakers. But if you look at our Bose Audio cars and our Harman Kardon audio cars, the speakers are all in the same general places anyways. So I don't think one is necessarily better than the other to my ears. Certainly somebody who knows sound systems better than I will probably tell you one is better. But even then, it's kind of like, you know, is a Lamborghini better than a Kia? Well, maybe, but if you need 7 people in the car, maybe not. So same sort of thing, like there might be higher or lower things, right? Is a Chevy Corvette better than a Chevy Sonic? Yeah. It's the same brand, they're both Chevys, right? So same thing with Harman Kardon and Bose. It just kind of depends. When you fold the second row, is it nearly flat floor? Greetings from the Netherlands. Netherlands, cool, my mom's from there. We'll show you the flat, we'll fold the seats down today. How's that? We'll make it there. I'm with you on the sound, just need a bit of bass. So a bit of bass, both of them have very good bass. I think the Bose Audio kind of emphasizes bass more. It just seems like that's what I notice in a Bose Audio system. But certainly Harman Kardon, no issues there with bass. They're both very, very good. So, all right, let's go rear seat space here. You guys wanted to see Teddy in the rear seat, so I don't know. I guess we can do that. Usually Teddy's our trunk guy only. So this seat, probably a hair farther back than I need. Sometimes I put it a little bit back for filming. Back here, you've got a couple of features here. One thing that's interesting is, we'll take the shipping plastic off here. We're gonna put our shipping plastic there, guys, okay? We'll deal with that later. One thing that's interesting about these blinds is on the Kia vehicle, you have to go in behind, tuck it out. I like the way Hyundai does it here, where you can put it in from the front. For whatever reason with my my clumsiness, I guess. I just find that this is a better system. I can put it up, I can clip it in. Oops, now I'm trying to do it through the camera instead. But I can clip it in, and that seems easiest. So I think it's not better or worse necessarily, but for me, I find this one's easier because it clips in from the front, and that is the difference between Kia and Hyundai. Let's just take this piece of thing and put it somewhere else. You know what? Gonna put it here for now. I feel good about it there. All right, so we've got heated seats back here, seat bottoms only in the rear seats and outboard seating only, and of course your mirror there or your window there as well. Again, these aren't blue, they're silver, just the shipping plastic. Overall, the seats back here are very comfortable. One thing that I just would like to see that they do in the Sorento, they don't do here. The Sorento has a pocket over on the driver's side and the passenger side. It's actually a dual pocket, and you don't see that here. So when we talk about Sorento versus Santa Fe, let's talk about the rear seats here. Both are extremely comfortable. I find this to be perfectly fitting to my body. I don't know that one's better than the other, but if one is like a 9, then the other's an 8. Like, they're very close. This one might come out on top for me just for general seat comfort, but it's not going to matter to most people. Sunroof is there, we know, and you've got good leg space here. Again, good knee space here. Where the Sorento, I think, does a little bit better, and again, the Sorento costs a little bit more, they have the USB ports here, and they have multiple pockets in there. I think that multiple pocket system is good. These don't stretch as far as some netted pockets, although they're not terrible, but I just feel like having that USB in the seat was pretty cool. Now, having said that, there's really no complaint because you have a regular plug down here and a USB and a USB. You can only fit 3 people back here anyway, so I mean, are you taking 3 people? Do they all have the USBs plugged in? Or even if you did, you'd still have the regular plugs. So I don't know if that's a huge concern. You do have the vents back here. And again, I'd like to see a pocket on the driver's side just because I've got 2 kids. And if they want to stick their device in there or their books in there, you know, why would you not at this level put an extra pocket there? It just seems like cost savings when I don't think anybody's going to not buy a Calligraphy edition because you had to spend extra couple dollars to put that in. So just a little bit odd to not have the pocket there, but not a huge complaint. All right, you guys asked to see the seat down. You know what, we're not throwing Teddy in the back seat just because timing wise. You wanna see it down? It does fold flat. So it does fold flat like that. It's very easy to do. Now I have to put it up and I do need 2 hands for that. So let's put the camera on the ground. We'll show you how it's done here. Pick that up like that. And you'll see the bottom rises as well. And you can, of course, tilt those back seats. So again, just in case you couldn't hear me, the bottom rises, you can tilt those back seats down, but the bottom kind of collapses in there. Let's do the teddy bear test where teddy bear is supposed to go. This is the contract I have with teddy bear. Of course, it's a power opening tailgate. You would expect that. Got a little bit of junk in the trunk down there. Underneath the floor here, let me just move this for a second. All right, underneath the floor out here, you do have an inflator kit. No spare tire here. The Sorento does have a spare tire in 2022. It did not in 2021. Huge storage under this side here. And then over here, massive underfloor storage here. So when you read the spec sheet and you hear that the Tucson has more trunk space than the Santa Fe, which is true, I don't think they're counting that underfloor storage. I still feel like with that underfloor storage, the Santa Fe has more storage than the Tucson. But the Tucson, for its size, has a very large trunk. I will say, though, Teddy Bear is real happy in here. It's almost like it's made for Teddy Bear. His head's there, and it's a 2 Teddy Bear trunk, easy for him. Not to mention if they stacked on top of each other. So a lot of space there. And those of you wondering why I'm using a Teddy Bear, if it's the first time you've tuned in, Teddy Bear is my trunk measurement tool. We use him on every trunk we have, and then you can compare between videos which one looks more roomy with a consistent prop. So that's why we have Teddy Bear. Harman Kardon sound system, you've got the bass, the subwoofer back here. And then, of course, you also have ability to flop the seats down from here, so I can flop the middle row seats down from those 2 buttons and a 12-volt port there as well. All right, just want to touch on lighting on this car. We'll go back and take your questions in a second. I believe we were going for like 80 likes, which was a low bar, and there's 90-ish people on, and you guys are failing me today. You're saying, you know what, Peter, you're not worth it. Oh, yeah, you know what? I did have the seat move back further. As I turned the car on, the seat moved forward. So again, more legroom there. All right, so flip it around here. We've got the lights on. Oh, nobody wants to look at me. Let's turn the signal on as well. Okay, so signal light in the mirror, that's pretty common stuff. A little bit different though. Sometimes they run the entire length here. Styling wise, they just changed that up a little bit. And you have the signal light up here, which is pretty cool. Now, again, you can't see this, that for whatever reason, the camera doesn't film the amber, but that is a bright amber color there. and we'll show you headlights in a second, but check it out on this side. This is your daytime running light, and that changes to that bright amber flashing light, but the way it sets right now, it looks like it all ties in together. It's really well done. And then, of course, these are some of the best headlights they have, which is those bright, sharp cutoff LED headlights, cool little design details in there, and of course, you see that nice sharp cutoff here, which is what you want to see. Overall, the front of this is tied in well together. You've got this, sort of this aluminum looking trim, the metal looking trim around there, which doesn't show up great in the silver. You've got the beepers in there with the sensors right there. And then the piano black type look. The whole thing just comes together nicely in person. It looks high end. It looks sort of sleekly put together. And while on camera, it looks kind of chunky in sections, in person, it very much looks like a single piece with just some nice decoration. And that's really what all that trim is all about. It's just sort of decorated nicely. In the back, sort of same look. Remember those white lights that kind of looked over? This has a sort of an echo of that kind of look. No light across the whole way. Some people have asked me that in the past, and it does not light across the whole way. This is your signal light down here. Some people like that, some people don't. I don't design them, so you don't have to complain to me. I would like to see the signal lights up here as well, but they do it down there. It is very visible, and you can also, it's hard to see on camera, but that is a very bright, visible light right there as well. So there is the light there. And of course, you have a very long roof rack. A lot of these larger SUVs, they start the roof rack just behind the driver's side, and you end up with a shorter roof rack. Very, very long roof rack. If you're carrying something like a long ski box, a canoe, or a kayak, that's just a better roof rack to have up there. So we're 30 minutes in. We just hit 80 likes now, so I do appreciate that. Let me just see if there's any questions I missed here that I need to get to. I gave you a like for doing a Friday video. I appreciate that. I didn't feel like doing a video today. I was kind of like shoveling a lot of snow lately, so I'm not always in the mood for videos after I do some snow stuff. So we're done with the snow stuff. UK underfloor absorbs that space. That's a difference. So okay. Teddy needs to renegotiate his contract. Yeah, don't we all? Teddy's doing just fine. He does not work hard for what he does. Why is there no ultimate calligraphy trim with the hybrid? I don't know why, so I'm just gonna guess. Right now, the hybrids, the PHEVs, with what's going on in the world right now with chip shortages still, supply chain issues across the world for everything automotive, my assumption is that they can only make so many. So they've just decided where they want to place it in the lineup, and I guess they've decided to go with the volume settings or the volume pricing, right? So once you get into a Santa Fe at this price point, once you add hybrids, PHEV stuff, you might be stepping outside of a price point that Hyundai doesn't want to play in right now when they're short on inventory. So they've priced them more for the everyday person. You can get this model with the 2.5 liter twin turbo, 2.5 liter turbo dual clutch engine. Somebody says, how reliable is the 2.5T? So 2.5 turbo engine. Let's talk about the engine. 2.5 liter turbo, 8-speed dual clutch, wet clutch transmission. Those are all good things. Some people are scared of turbos. I don't think you need to be. Some people are scared of dual clutch transmissions. I don't think you need to be. And when I say that, I can't tell you how predictable they're going to be in the future. It's you know, if you ask the refrigerator guy how long is the fridge going to last, they'll just tell you I don't know, because they don't know. I will say that I put my own money into this engine transmission. The Santa Cruz that I drive, that I paid for at no discount. I got the accessories on a discount, but I did not get the vehicle at a discount, even though I work at the dealership and even though I do this for them every day. I put my own money into that car. I'm not worried about it. I'm just not worried about the engine and transmission. It performs really well, and that goes really well. So he says, I'm very lucky with my Sorento SX PHEV. Yeah, so as far as engine reliability, it doesn't concern me. It works very, very well. I'm very confident in what I hear about it. And yeah, there's that. There was another question here. Oh, somebody asked me earlier about the fuel these turbo engines require. Just 87 octane. They don't need premium fuel, so you're fine with that. Treat a turbo nicely, let it tick over after last run so that it flows. Yeah, you know what? Some of these old tricks are fine. The car kind of takes care of itself for the most part. Don't abuse it, right? Like it's not a, you know, if you floor any car all the time everywhere, then you're gonna have more issues than not. Peter, does the remote start confirm the vehicle start? Not on the key fob, but keep in mind you can remote start this with the cell phone app, and at the cell phone app, it does that. So he says that's what warranties are for. Exactly. If you're concerned about the car, buy an extended warranty, right? If you have concerns about this engine transmission, but you like the car, just throw on an extended warranty, and then you're good. Bunch of people order different dates. Ordered in October, got November 25th. People I know ordered one day after me and not getting anything to May. Yeah, there was some section now. Like I ordered my Santa Cruz in August and got it in November. Some people have been waiting a little bit longer for some of their cars than I have. It just depends on when you order. All right, so I think we've covered all the questions here. And I think, you know what, guys? We're gonna leave it right there. We got 87 likes. If there's 3 more people or 13 more people that wanna hit like, we'll get to 100, that'd be cool. But I think we'll leave it right there for today. I wanna thank you guys for joining us. Next week, we're gonna start having some pretty good weeks around here. The EV6 should be showing up as early as this month. We're gonna go back to the Ioniq 5. So Ioniq 5 EV6 comparisons are coming up this week. SUVs and stuff like that. Haven't done the Santa Cruz in a while. We could if you wanted to. We could go back to that as well. Lots of stuff coming up, and we're going to do some more shorter classes again, and we call them Kia Hyundai classes, just short stuff to teach you the individual features of your vehicle. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, hit the like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. It's Peter Kia Hyundai channel. There's underscores between the words, so Peter Kia Hyundai channel on Instagram. Follow me there. You'll see what's going on, and hopefully we'll see a couple more likes pop through on the Instagram. All right, thanks guys for watching. Have a good one. We'll see you again on Monday.